Welcome to Psyche Talks. Today we're diving deep into Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. We're working from an audiobook transcript you shared with us. And the goal really is to pull out those actionable insights, right? Ways to navigate relationships, understand people better, but without getting bogged down in, super lengthy theory. So we're aiming to extract the real gems, the surprising stories, and the practical stuff you can actually use, maybe even right away.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it, how relevant this book still feels? I mean, written ages ago. But the core ideas about human interaction, what makes us tick, they just hold up.
Absolutely. And the transcript jumps right in with something powerful. Appreciation and encouragement. Starts with Charles Schwab, the steel guy. He actually believed his greatest asset, his superpower almost, was getting people enthusiastic through appreciation.
And he had this principle, didn't he? Something like, I'm eager to praise, but reluctant to find fault.
Exactly. If I like anything, I am hearty in my approbation and lavish in my praise. Lavish. He wasn't holding back.
Which is such a contrast to how often criticism is used. Schwab really zeroed in on the positive. It wasn't just passively noticing good things. It was actively looking for them, cultivating that mindset.
Right. And expressing it sincerely. It really makes you think about how positive reinforcement just works better. The transcript mentions criticism can kill ambition.
Oh, definitely. Whereas approval, genuine appreciation, that fuels people. It encourages effort, growth. Think about your own experiences, right? Which environment helps you thrive?
Totally. And it wasn't just Schwab. Andrew Carnegie, another big name, he practiced this too, praising people publicly, privately.
Yeah, and didn't he want something specific on his tombstone about surrounding himself with smarter people?
He did. Here lies one who knew how to get around him, men who were cleverer than himself. That speaks volumes about valuing others, doesn't it?
It really does. And then there's that John D. Rockefeller story. A partner messes up an investment, loses money.
But Rockefeller praises him because the partner managed to save 60% of the investment from being a total loss.
Incredible. Instead of focusing on the mistake, he found the positive, the effort to mitigate the damage. It's about perspective, really.
So that ties into the next big theme, avoiding criticism and understanding emotion.
The transcript brings up Confucius here. Don't complain about the snow on your neighbor's roof when your own doorstep is unclean. A classic.
Such a good reminder for self-reflection first. And the transcript points out how stinging criticism can create resentment that lasts for, well, ages.
Yeah, that Richard Harding Davis letter example. The hurt lingered for decades. It shows words have real, long-term weight.
And the key insight, I think, is remembering who we're dealing with. The transcript says, creatures of emotion, creatures bristling with prejudices and motivated by pride and vanity.
Exactly, not just logic robots. Our feelings are central. So the takeaway is pretty clear. Criticism rarely works the way we think it will. It usually just causes defensiveness, resentment.
Better to focus on understanding, maybe, and positive reinforcement, like Schwab did.
Definitely. And the transcript also highlights how damaging criticism can be, especially for more sensitive people. It mentions Thomas Hardy, Thomas Chatterton.
And even Benjamin Franklin, when he was young, he apparently got into trouble for being too critical.
But look how he changed. That's the powerful part. He made a conscious shift, developed this principle, I will speak ill of no man.
And speak all the good I know of everybody. What a transformation. And you can see how that played into his success as a diplomat later on.
It's huge. Then there's that amazing story about the test pilot, Bob Hoover.
Oh yeah, the mechanic puts the wrong fuel in his plane. A potentially fatal mistake.
And Hoover, instead of blowing up, which most people would, right? He reacts with compassion, puts his arm around the guy, says he wants to make sure he doesn't make the same mistake again.
Wow. Choosing empathy over blame in a high-stakes moment, that's powerful.
It really is. And all this leads perfectly into the next big idea, the importance of genuine interest in other people.
Right. Carnegie apparently observed that the most common word in phone calls was I.
Yeah, it kind of makes you pause, doesn't it? How often are we really focused on ourselves in conversations?
We think we need to impress people, make them interested in us. But Carnegie, in this transcript, they argue the opposite. True connection, real influence comes from being genuinely interested in them.
Alfred Adler had that really strong quote about this, didn't he?
Oh yeah, that was intense. Something like, the person not interested in others has the biggest problems and causes the most harm.
Exactly. It is the individual who is not interested in his fellow men who has the greatest difficulties in life and provides the greatest injury to others. It is from among such individuals that all human failures spring. Pretty direct.
Wow. So genuine interest isn't just like pretending to listen. It's truly focusing on the other person, wanting to understand their world.
Right. Not just waiting for your turn to talk or drop some impressive fact. Actually seeking to understand their thoughts, feelings, experiences.
The transcript even had that anecdote about the magazine editor.
Oh, yeah. Who could tell if an author actually liked people just from the writing?
Yeah. It suggests that this quality, this genuine interest, it comes through in everything we do.
And think about Howard Thurston, the magician. Apparently, he was just sincerely interested in everyone. Presidents, stagehands, didn't matter.
That warmth probably contributed a lot to his success, you'd think. And then the Edward M. Sykes Jr. story.
The soda clerk one, that's a great example.
Yeah. He took the time to show interest in a clerk, someone seemingly unimportant in the grand scheme of his business.
And it ended up keeping a major, valuable customer loyal because that clerk felt seen, felt valued, and passed that positive feeling along.
It's a reminder that everyone matters, everyone appreciates feeling noticed. And Carnegie's own story from his writing course shows this too, how being interested opens doors you didn't expect.
Which leads us naturally to making a good first impression. The transcript says, greet people with animation, with enthusiasm.
Yeah, don't just mumble hello. Put some energy into it. It even mentions telephone etiquette companies training operators to sound interested.
That first contact really sets the tone, doesn't it? Like Madeline Rosedale's experience at the bank.
Right, the staff were courteous, showed personal concern, and that made a huge difference to her. Built loyalty.
And sometimes showing interest means tapping into the other person's world, like Charles R. Walters.
Ah, the stamp collection. He needed cooperation from a company president, found out the president's son collected stamps.
And used that knowledge, talked about stamps, showed interest in something the president cared about indirectly. It created a connection.
It shows you've done your homework, that you care about what they care about. It's not just about your own agenda.
Absolutely. And C.M. Napoli Jr., the fuel salesman, he initially disliked this chain store executive.
But then he shifted his approach. Instead of just pushing his product, he started asking the executive about his business, his challenges, his perspective, showed genuine interest.
And boom, breakthrough. He got the sale because he connected on a human level by understanding the other guy's world.
It circles back to that ancient wisdom. The transcript quotes from Publilius Syrus. We are interested in others when they are interested in us.
There's a reciprocity to it, but the interest has to be sincere, right? People can usually tell if you're just faking it.
Definitely. Which makes that story about Martin Ginsburg and the nurse so powerful.
Oh, the Thanksgiving Day story? That one's really moving.
Yeah. Just the simple, genuine care she showed him when he was alone and feeling low. It had a profound impact. Pure, sincere human interest.
All these stories, all these examples, they really build the case for Carnegie's Principle 1. Become genuinely interested in other people. It feels like the foundation for everything else.
It really does. And flowing right from that, you get Principle 2, smile.
Seems almost too simple, maybe? But think about the effect. The transcript mentions those crippled boys.
Yeah, laughing, finding joy despite their situation. That kind of positive energy is infectious.
It truly is. Or Senora Maria Gonzalez, feeling lonely at her new job.
Until she started making an effort to just smile and greet her colleagues. And it changed everything for her. Broke the ice, built connections.
Small gesture, big impact, like Albert Hubbard's advice. Greet your friends with a smile and put soul into every hand clasp.
Put soul into it. I like that. Genuine warmth.
Which brings us to Principle 3. Remember that a person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language.
Oh, this one's huge. The transcript gives that example of Mr. Levy.
Getting emotional when someone finally pronounced his name correctly after years.
Yeah. It just hits home how personal, how fundamental our names are to our identity. Using someone's name correctly shows respect, shows you see them.
Absolutely. And Andrew Carnegie, again, he understood this strategically too, didn't he?
He did. Naming rabbits after kids in the neighborhood, naming his steel mill after J. Edgar Thompson. It was about building goodwill, making connections.
It's art. And apparently he prided himself on knowing his factory workers' first names.
And the result?
Mm-hmm.
No strikes during his leadership, the transcript says. That connection mattered.
It builds trust, shows respect. Benton Love's comment about remembering names warming up a corporation. That feels very true today.
Yeah, and think about Karen Kirsch, the flight attendant. Building customer loyalty just by learning and using passenger names makes the experience feel personal, not transactional.
And it's universal. The transcript notes how much foreigners appreciate hearing their names used correctly, too. It's a basic human need for recognition.
There were historical examples too, right? P.T. Barnum, Napoleon. They made an effort to remember names.
Napoleon supposedly had a whole system for it. He knew it was important for leadership, for influence.
And it works in everyday life too. That story about Ken Nottingham at the cafeteria.
Yeah, just learning the server Eunice's name.
Exactly. And using it. Suddenly the service is friendlier, the interaction is better. It changes the dynamic.
It really does. These principles, pulled straight from that transcript you shared, they offer such a solid framework. It's about empathy, genuine interest, recognition.
Absolutely. We hope this deep dive has maybe sparked some thoughts, giving you those aha moments we were looking for. The key really seems to be putting these ideas into practice.
And doing it with genuine care, right? Not just as techniques, but as a way of being.
So what stands out to you listening right now? What feels like the most surprising insight, or maybe the one you could apply like tomorrow?
Yeah, give that some thought. How could these timeless lessons maybe shape your next conversation, your next interaction?
Thank you for your support and for listening.